Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You, Say It Back. It's the podcast. I'm your host, Vic D, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We are live in downtown Bakersfield. Glad you are making us a part of your day. A very, very special show, and I'm so excited for you to be tuning in, and I think you're going to be excited to have tuned in. We got our producer, Eric. How you doing over there?
What is up?
Man, what a last few, I can't even say days, more like 30, 40 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
Been crazy.
It's been fun, though.
This is kind of the world we're getting ourselves into. It's kind of fun. It's kind of new. It's kind of, learning lessons, and it's a lot of fun. We'll dive into that coming up. So it's going to be a very interesting. So we do have a very special guest, a very special interview coming up. So this part of the show, which we normally do, we need to have our Shut the Fuck Up of the Week.
Yeah, we can throw one in.
Yeah, I'm going to add that in there. We can leave this in. I got one just based off the interview that we did. So we'll have that, a very special guest. Really excited about that. Done Netflix shows, done HBO stuff, and we'll get into that interview coming up in a few minutes. Me and Eric are going to be just kind of touching on what the last few days have been like. We're going to wrap up with our trivia question. So before we get into and dive into all of that, don't even have my I Love You, Say It Back little board here. We're going to be diving into all of those things, but of course, I want to remind you, brought to you by Rev Nutrition and our favorite product, Define. Get it, mental clarity. You need a little boost of energy. You need a little pick me up. Maybe it's a little secret thing. How late at night you get kind of hungry and you're like, I don't want to eat like chips. I don't want to eat cereal. I don't want to eat anything like that. Take a little scoop of this. It's got a hunger suppressant, and I know that's going to be big. So get it. Rev Nutrition all over Bakersfield. Mention the podcast. You get 20% off of your purchase. Also, invest in your sleep. Go down to the Mattress Space, our buddy sees. He's kind of in the middle of not a rebrand, but just kind of revamping the place, kind of bringing it back to life. So go check him out. Buck Owens Boulevard, best prices in town. He's doing all this and still offering the best prices. So the Mattress Space Furniture Outlet, Buck Owens Boulevard. Go check him out. Tell him you love him. Tell him we sent you, and they'll take care of you for sure. All right. I wanted to get into this because I think it's, the last few days have been crazy. We'll talk about that, but I think there's certain things that kind of remind you, like kids are kids. So last weekend, I think it was after we recorded this podcast, or maybe the day after, because I would have talked about it last week, but so my little brother just turned 16, and, you obviously like, hey, let's go eat, let's go, and it was the funniest thing, dude. I was talking to my mom, and I was like, hey, where are we meeting up? Where are we going to go eat? What are we going to do? I think it was last Wednesday, actually. And, what she said? I was like, where does he want to go? And she's like, we're going to Golden Corral at like 5. And I just started dying. And not only because, like, boy got a little redneck in him. Take me there, go Corral. But I think it's so funny. I think it's like a kid thing, dude, where it's like, when you have it in your mind, you're like a buffet. There's like no limits, no rules. Yeah. I can get cookies. I can get ice cream. I can get chicken, and I can get steak, and I can get chips, and I can get salad, and I can get fries, and I can get pizza. That's where the magic is. Not so much like, I love Golden Corrals. And we're like, there's magic in that. And I think that was absolutely hilarious. Me and my sister were dying about it.
I haven't went there since the grand opening, honestly. But you remember how they said they were leaving the food out in the back, like and then bring it in, stuff like that. I do remember that. It was a big thing, and I think they lost a lot of money on that. But I love all you can eat buffets. Not that one.
How do you feel about buffets? Like, just in
remember they
general.
kind of COVID killed the buffet market in a way. Hometown buffet,
Hometown was fire. That's
Hometown was good, man.
Yeah.
The breakfast buffets are always good. You get eggs, the sausages, the bacon. I'm talking when there's an actual chef there or cook making like your omelet.
Oh,
you know,
I see what you're saying.
I'm not talking about those like a whole bunch of watery egg. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Here's your grub.
Yeah, and you know what the big thing about buffets, if you think about it, it never goes how you want it to. You're like, I'm gonna eat 5 plates,
dude,
and you'll be kind of pissed off. You're like, why did I not eat more? I wanted to. I just can't. Like, it's just so dumb.
And then you go into it with a completely different mindset, which is hilarious, dude. This is where I feel like we all have that little kid in us. We're like, but you have that first plate and you're like, I need to go out for a second. But in that pause, you're like, it settles in a little bit and you're like, there's no way I'm full. I'm pushing through this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. At 5 a.m. that night, I woke up and I threw up. Like, I laid down and I was like, I had gone for a run, bro. I went for a run. And I was like, well, I need to work this off. You know, I haven't eaten since. I'll be okay. Go for a run. Lay down after I take a shower and everything. And then I puke everything out. And it was just like that combination of chips and pizza. Yeah, I was eating like a 16-year-old, man. I'm telling you. But I feel like buffets kind of lost their luster a little bit.
Oh,
You're right with
like
the whole COVID thing. It's like everybody's now so weary about touching, which rightfully so. I think it's fucking disgusting. You'd be surprised at the people who don't wash their hands, and it's fucking gross. It pisses me off to think about like if you don't wash your hands, you're fucking selfish. You're a selfish piece of shit. You're like, hey, everybody's gonna touch my dirty germs. Like, dude, fuck you. Like that might be my shut the fuck up of the week. People who don't wash their hands. Like, are you kidding me? And I'm gonna say it one day. I'm gonna expose people who don't do it and pretend to.
Bro, the thing about literally, this is why buffets got canceled. COVID, 100%. That was really the downfall of them. So,
but yeah, I mean, buffets, you always leave a little disappointed. And you know what's interesting is that I think we paid $19 for an adult. Bro, I can go to Chipotle and if I really want to enjoy my meal, it's $20+, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got steak. Boy, I got meatloaf. Boy, I got salad. Boy, I got cookies. I'm telling you, I got a little. And they have this. You want to go Golden Corral after this?
Bro, I'm so hungry, and I'm gonna be honest. I know I got to get some work done, but I almost might be down.
Yeah, this is crazy. But they have like this really good like chicken. It's fantastic. And I saw it at 5 a.m. again. I was like, why not? Hey, why not just grab that again? It wasn't that good.
Hey, and then you try to kind of sneak out with extras. Remember, remember that person?
I don't.
Kind of throw some extras in but they're pretty good at it.
My grandma
make you
did
buy
that in
it.
a napkin. R.I.P. my grandma. She was funny, man. She's like, no, we're going to take it home. Cookies for, I always think about like her grandkids. She's like, well, they're going to want cookies later or something. But yeah, so yeah, Golden Corral for her birthday is a wild move, but classic like little kid, like no limits, no rules. So the last 30, well, I mean, this was 36 hours a few hours ago. So let's say the last 48 hours has been like kind of nonstop, kind of a fun little experience overall. We headed down to LA on, I honestly don't even know what day. Is it Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. We went down to LA because we were going to spend Monday up there. Mm-hmm. And we had a day like laid out, like planned. But we didn't really have the night portion of it, like we're the figured out. We were like, we're gonna leave early in the morning. We're like, fuck it, like let's just go right now.
It was, and keep in mind, like everyone that's listening, this is a rarity. I find this. Vic is the only person that has a very unusual, non-human like schedule, and he could say it right now, bro. You called me literally at 3 something in the morning the other day. I picked up like if I was.
Yeah, like it was 3 p.m.
Yeah, and he knows he could probably do that, and I'm like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah,
and it's a pickup like that. So
normally you call someone at that time, they're like, bro, what the fuck?
Are you serious?
Like, this isn't an emergency. Like, bro, why would you do that?
My number.
Yeah.
So he goes to sleep sometimes 2, 3 in the morning. He works out late at night. He has a different schedule than me, but it's to the effect of early morning. So all I knew is that we were gonna go out. I wanted to go to LA to shoot the podcast, starting for Only Cool and Social. But also, I needed to get furniture at IKEA, and you were down. I said, bro, this is like this leave the day before. Again, you were down. I was like, you needed to get more merch. You're like, let's make a trip out of that. So we just started piling up like different things.
The random shit.
And then it was like, hey, we could go to the boxing gym. I could interview some of the fighters because of the whole Mike Tyson thing, and Logan or Jake Paul, and we were thinking about getting a workout in with Corey. We wanted to get food. There's a little list, and we leave at 12, I would say, ish. It got to 1:30. You're like, hey, actually, let's just go because we're not going to get there to 1:30. We found ourselves on like a mini adventure. I knew we could find a place to stay, but then it started getting like 3:30.
Doug, folks, you got to understand, what was Sunday night? Sunday night in LA was the Oscars. Mm-hmm. So we're like, why isn't there any hotel that has any availability or any vacancy? And they're like, no, we're all booked. And I was thinking, I was like, dude, Eric, they just probably don't want to take us because it's not going to be worth it for them to take someone right now. I mean, for them, it would be screwing us. But then we're like, wait, the Oscars were literally at the Dolby Theater or something like that? So we're sitting there wondering, like, what the hell's going on in LA? Yeah, only one of the biggest nights in Hollywood, the freaking Oscars. And we're like, yeah, there's no vacancy anywhere.
Yeah, tell them where we tried to stay at, and you got off the car
Doug,
inside.
What are you talking about? The Best Inn or
the hotel?
Which one?
The haunted one.
Oh, at the Cecil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You were excited too, because I've stayed there. By the way, everyone, I've stayed at the Cecil Hotel. Literally the year. Now I know that they shut it down, but we got by it. We were on Skid Row, and we were just like...
Unbelievable. Like, that's how damn bad we were, but it was kind of a thrill. I will say this. If anybody who's unfamiliar with the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, look it up, Google it, watch the Netflix documentary. Mm-hmm. One of the few documentaries that I've actually watched through and through, which is interesting that we even ran into it.
Or watch the season of House of Horrors where it's based around the Cecil Hotel. It's dope. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's known for what? People have killed themselves there. They jump off.
They would jump off the top. A lot of people would say that they would get possessed in that building, and for whatever reason, it was haunted. And obviously, it started stacking up with people dying there, getting murdered there. And the Netflix series, that girl looked like she was going crazy. Went upstairs, they found her in a water tank.
Crazy.
X amount of days later, yeah.
Yeah. So there was that, and we were looking at it. We were like, "Fuck it, let's stay at the Cecil."
You were down.
Like, it
was
down.
An
experience. It was gonna be an experience. Great content, doing numbies, and then I go in there. He pulls up right in front of it, just off to the side of it, because we couldn't park right in front of it. There was a car there, but the point is, I was like, "Let me go check."
No, we pull up. I said, "Bro, look how big that rat is."
Yeah,
there is like a rat the size of your cup running.
I thought you were gonna say something else, like your cup. That is one tiny mouse. Yeah, there's a giant rat like running right across, like almost like coming out to welcome you. It's like, hey, welcome to the Cecil.
And no one's worried about it.
Yeah. No one was like freaking out. I'd be like, I don't do rats, and I'm not scared of a lot of things. I don't do rats and mice and all that stuff. But so then I get out, and I was like, well, this is hopefully that because of things like that, maybe it'll be real cheap. And then I go in there and I take a peek through the front entrance. And folks, if you haven't been there, if you haven't seen it, Cecil Hotel is now, it seems like it's converted into like a homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. So you walk in and it's still like a very nice kind of grand like entrance. Like it's real nice, well lit and everything. And then I peek in there and it's just homeless people. Like it's like that episode of South Park where everybody's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's no longer, I couldn't even go in. And it's like a red carpet, and then there's just people like to the side, like just laying there, chilling there, and like homeless.
You pointed out, remember on the sign it said now accepting Section 8.
Yeah, I was like, geez, man, this is how the mighty have fallen. He
came back in the truck. I said, how'd it look? He's like, bro, there's literally people just standing inside on the sides, like. It sounded almost like they put zombies in there and they were stuck in there and they couldn't get out and they were just like standing. It was wild, but it was fun because I don't get a lot of people that are down to really explore and be so random the way we were. So we left there. Now I'm really getting into Vic's like, hey, bro, like, we're already out here. Let's go to the street over. Like, we just kept going.
Hey, listen, when you are down to stay at the Cecil Hotel, your standards of like a freaking Best Western or Quality Inn, like all of a sudden that's luxurious. You know, we're just looking for. We went to a damn casino.
We
looking
went
for vacancy.
Casino, the Commerce Casino. I thought you were gonna want to leave. You were the one just strolling through. Keep in mind, I think there's etiquette, and he had none of it in the casino. He's walking past everyone playing poker, Texas Hold'em, and keep in mind, this is 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he was like just walking through, like he wasn't, but it was almost like he's just bumping people's chairs.
I felt bad because there was a point where like they deal the cards, and I'm behind him standing there. And then people are just checking their cards, and I could see everything, and I'm like, that's a good hand. Or I'm like, oh, that's bad luck.
Hey, he starts telling people,
throw
fold.
Yeah. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Not your hand, pal. But yeah, that was a whole experience in itself. And then, then we finally found a place to stay, finally got some sleep. And then this is the only like downside to it is when we left so late that we got to bed so late that we couldn't just,
our
get
plans
everything
were
done.
effed.
Yeah, it throws the whole day off.
I think we said it mentally in our head though. Like we're like, hey, when's the late checkout? They're like 1. We're like, perfect.
Yeah, like, thank you. We didn't even stay till 1, but it was nice to know. Like it was a mental thing where you're like, okay,
100%.
If I need to, or if I just don't wake up, like it's nice to know that is an option. Yeah. So that was the whole like hotel adventure from going to staying at a pretty nice place to dropping our standards down to the Cecil to finally finding a spot outside of like where we even maybe 20 minutes out of where we originally were. And it was just kind of a whole thing, but it was an experience nonetheless. And it was one of those things that we can look at in the moment. It's very rare to identify moments where you can say like in the moment, we can say, we're going to be able to look back on this and kind of laugh about it or kind of like talk about it. Like, remember that time that we did this, and that? Like, in the moment, you were able to identify it, which is kind of a rare thing nowadays where you can just kind of be like, this is one of those moments. And then the next day comes and we end up we were looking for like a bomb place to eat, good food, found this restaurant on Google or Yelp or something like that. It's a little Mexican joint from where you were going to be recording your podcast. And it was, folks, when I tell you, the food was incredible. The tortilla, the chicken, the asada, like everything was really good. And I'm a big, like, I like to dress my food up. You know what I'm saying? Like every bite, I don't know if you notice this, every bite had a purpose. So every bite gets its own squeeze of lemon, gets its salt, and gets its hot sauce. I don't take bites without doing that whole thing. So it takes me forever to eat. But every bite had its purpose. And folks, when I tell you this, I'm a red salsa when it comes to burrito. Red salsa, I bite into it. Folks, I am fighting for my life. I've never had a salsa hotter. And I was telling Eric, I was like, bro, this is kicking my ass. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like this one, and I'm not a hot food person to begin with. So it was brutal, but the food was absolutely incredible. The decor. Do you remember the name of the place?
It was like La Caz.
No. It wasn't that. It was a
not
blue
La,
place.
Not
We'll have to find it because the lady in there was a sweetheart.
She was. I was gonna say, make sure you mention this the lady.
We'll have to figure out what the name of that place. A little blue place, and they had really cool like vintage decorations, Hollywood, old school Dodgers. It was really LA, encompassed a lot of LA, and then we go to IKEA, and folks,
you passed up the whole fashion district.
Oh, well, we went to the fashion district. We did that. That was the first thing we did.
Yeah.
We went to the fashion district and we got some incredible deals. So side note, I guess we can mention this now is we're working on more merch. Like a lot of the things that we've gotten for the podcast has been like a lot of people were like, oh, where can I get it? How can I get it? You know, like it hasn't been put out because you gotta know what you like before you know. So it's a lot of like, oh, let me see if I like this, and then you try this hat or this color or this or that, you know. But I think we've kind of locked into what we're going to put out initially. Now it's just a matter of getting all the P's and Q's and T's and I's dotted and everything. So that's going to be coming sooner than later, and we're working on
Casitas Taco El Cabron.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Say that again.
Casitas.
Butcher that again. Say that again.
Casitas.
Meow meow. Yeah. I like it better. Casitas.
Taco.
Al. Carbon. Not cabron. Carbon way. You said cabron.
No, I didn't say cabron.
The salsa was al cabron. That's what it was. Shit.
Yeah. You were in the bathroom screaming after that.
Like,
somebody help!
I'm sorry. Am I in the Cecil Hotel? I'm possessed.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't put so much on there.
Yeah. Shout out to it's in Burbank. I'll even show you the address: 405 North Victory Boulevard, Burbank, California. Actually, I think they want me to shoot a video.
I was just gonna say, how crazy would it be? Because you left him your business card, and the lady was a sweetheart. She's like, "I'm gonna follow you, and I'm gonna check your stuff." And imagine if they hit you up to do work for them. That would be crazy.
I would go just do a one-off real quick for them for free, honestly, just because she was so nice. Or even honestly, just for exchange for some good food.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. So then we went to Fashion District, and then I learned a lot. Like, we've been to the Fashion District once, the first time we went to go get merch for our things, and this experience was a little less rushed, so we got to hit a few more places, which is kind of cool. Like, you learn that there's...
Which still felt a little rushed towards the end.
There was so much customization. You could spend a whole weekend here, folks. It was my second time being there. It's just kind of crazy, but we got some good deals. We got some good stuff, and I'm excited about what's going to be coming. Then we go to drop off the stuff for your podcast. Then we go to IKEA. And folks, when I tell you, this is the best way I'm going to sum up IKEA. This is going to be the best way that I can do it. IKEA is like getting on a roller coaster, right? You walk in and it's just like, please fasten your seatbelt. And then it's just like, just going through the aisles and then you take the elevators, there's a whole nother floor, and then you go up and you go down, you go this and you go that, and the carts are doing 360s and doing things that normal carts can't do, and they can't even spell hey right. They say hej. How do you pronounce that?
Hej.
I don't know. It's Swedish, right?
Hej.
But it was an experience. I had no idea that there was a food court, which is absolutely a game changer. I'm mad that we didn't eat there.
Well, you wanted to eat the whatever casitas, and no, it was good though. It was worth it. I really do wish I wanted to, but we were in a rush to get back to shoot the podcast. That was really the reason why we didn't get to eat or do any extras like that.
So then we do that IKEA roller coaster, and it's funny. There's just so much to see. It's like Costco times like 4.
Yeah.
I'm not like, there's levels to this. There's a whole giant warehouse at the end. It was really an experience. Like, more so than anything, it's a true experience of like, this is something that you just need to do. And whether I didn't buy nothing. I didn't buy a single thing. You're the one who needed that stuff. But it was just kind of cool to go along. And I will say, at the end of IKEA, like, I think I noticed my battery just went. I was like,
yeah, it did.
I was tired. I was gassed. So IKEA, an experience. The carts are wonderful. Next time I want to go up and I want to try the food. And the food seems like there was like really cheap too. Is that what it's known for? Kind of like Costco?
It's kind of like the Costco. Yeah, but if you ask me, man, it's kind of hard. Costco has its own like vibe and reputation. They're
Costco or IKEA.
See, you didn't get to try like the like signature meatballs they have there.
That's wild,
bro. Like, you seen kind of the menu before.
I saw the cheesecake. The cheesecake looked incredible. I'm a big cheesecake guy.
It's just good, bro.
So, yeah, IKEA was pretty nuts. Do you have a shut the fuck up of the week?
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Well, hold on. Last thing I do want to touch on. You went and recorded your podcast, which we were supposed to do like in the afternoon, turned into like going into like an adventure, and we finished it a lot later than we anticipated.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was a great experience.
And put it this way, I didn't know this guy. Now, honestly, I'm a little bit more. I have a little bit more empathy towards when you're like, hey, I'm on my way. This guy lives so far from from my house that opposite ends of town.
Yeah.
I dropped this guy off, and luckily I wasn't tired because I would have fell asleep at some point in between that 3-hour drive. I'm just kidding. So I didn't go home till 4 a.m. Let's put it that way. So and we left, I think, like at 2.
Yeah. It was, but you know what? It was good. It was just the way
Good
you can
story.
put a nice bow on it is it's a great overall top to bottom story. And just so much filled in one day, come back. And then I was really excited for the interview that we're getting ready to go into right now. So as we're driving, I'm like, prepping for this interview. And I got real nervous because I have a interview prep process, show prep process, interview process. And when you kind of you're like, well, we're doing so many other things that like normally I would be prepping for that. And it turned into a whole thing. But you know what? The interview was fantastic, and do you want to get into that right now? And then we'll wrap up with our shut the fuck up, and we'll wrap up with the trivia question right after that.
That's fine.
Does that work?
Yep.
Are we going to be able to make that happen, producer?
I think we can.
All right. So really excited for this is the second interview that we've done on I Love You, Say It Back. Really excited for this one. I reached out to a really popular guy here in Bakersfield. And he came on my radar because of everybody that on social media, I pay attention to what you guys do. I know what my target audience wants. So I noticed a lot of you guys are going to a lot of these cake and cookie, they all look like seminars, but classes. And they all tagged Cake It with Justin. And I thought, you know what? There's somebody who's interesting. There's someone who we need to jump on the podcast. DM'd him. He got back to me. And here's a podcast for that. So I hope you enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. A little bit of a time crunch. But we're going to have him back on the show. And we're going to be going to do one of his cookie nights, baking nights. So super excited for that. Be on the lookout. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the interview with Cake It with Justin. Here we go, y'all. What is going on? I Love You, Say It Back. It's the podcast, and as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very, very special guest with us today. I'm super excited to be bringing on Caked Up Justin. I mean, what is it?
Cake It with Justin.
It's close enough.
It's a weird name. I have to be honest with you. I wanted to change it 100 times.
I bet you that was one of those that was like, you did it not thinking you were going to blow up the way you did. And you're like, well, now I'm stuck with his name.
Picture my sister and I on the couch being like, that would be fun. And then 6 years later, it's my full brand. There's stickers with it now. Yeah, I'm too deep in it. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome on. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing so well. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad you made time for us. You are a person that, if you're unfamiliar with I want to say Caked Up Justin. So if I just say it, it's just going to come out naturally.
Can that be my name now, actually?
Caked Up Justin. Is that taken on social media?
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah,
during this interview, I'm going to figure out if that's taken or not.
yeah, by the end of it, yes. You bake cakes. You've done shows on Netflix. You've done shows on HBO. You've done the YouTube thing. You've been on every network. We'll get into all that. But I wanted to bring you in today because the way I decide on like, who do I want to talk to? Who do I want to bring in? Is what are people interested in? What are people doing? Who are they kind of following and what are they getting into? And I've seen a lot of my target audience just be obsessed or they post or they're showing a cake, they're showing a cookie that they made at one of your shows. And I was like, I got to reach out, instantly DM'd him. It took you a couple days to get back, which kind of hurt my feelings. But hey, here we are.
You better call me out on this podcast, okay? You better say it back.
Yes.
Yeah. It's first of all, it's been an incredible opportunity to do these classes. And It's really an exciting thing because for me, I had never gotten to be in a space where something I did sticked so well. You know, I've thrown a lot of things out there as far as cake decorating goes. I started this business and, you know, I did shows and things like that, but nothing ever really took on as much of an energy and a vibe as cookie night and cake night, the classes that I teach in Bakersfield. And it's exciting to see how so many people recognize me from that or have taken a class. You know, this far into it now, we have people who've taken the class like 20, 30 times.
I'm actually offended by that because how the hell do they get into it? Because these things I've looked multiple times before you get in this. They're all sold out, Justin.
Listen, when you're the Beyonce of cake decorating, it just happens. I'm so fortunate. I don't know how it happened. I have to tell you, a lot of this fell into my lap because I was a server at Olive Garden 6 years ago, serving people breadsticks and endless pasta. And I didn't know if I was going to take this cake decorating thing anywhere. But when I started these classes, it was my opportunity to share all of the years of training I had. And it was a nice way to give people the spatula and say, here, you try. If you've been on Pinterest all day, if you've been watching these cake shows, you might want to try this. And everyone is itching to sort of see if they're good at something. That's why we do paint nights. That's why we do all these things. So I just was like, you know what? Let's see what happens if people get the spatula and the piping bag. And it is so funny. Some of the projects that come out of our classes, these people try their hardest. They give it their best. And it looks, can we curse on this thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like absolute shit. And you know who you are. You know who you are out there. And this is the best thing is after the class, that thing is eaten in the parking lot. So the stakes are low. Yeah. The stakes are incredibly low. If people are always like, oh, Justin, I'm nervous. Why are you nervous? We're not solving a nuclear code here. We're not trying to, you know, figure out any major thing. It's just cookies and icing. It is a fun time. And people go crazy for it. We sell out our classes, no kidding, in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're 80-person events. We have them every Monday at 1933. We're now opening up to Sonder. And of course, we do a lot of private events too. It's just crazy.
It's insane that I see, you know, like you have your release dates. You're like, oh, stay tuned here because this is when we're going to, I think you guys release like 4 or 5 of them at a time, something like that. Mm-hmm. And then those sell out. And I'm like, this is incredibly frustrating. So I was like, the real reason I had you on is because I wanted to talk to you directly. And I needed an in to get into one of these cake classes.
Listeners, believe it or not, 2 minutes into us talking, he's like, so I'm coming to your class, right? Yeah. And I need tickets. I was like, listen, whatever you need, it's on you. He's coming to my class, by the way. And I'm going to need you to post your cookies on social media. Are you brave enough?
Well, that was the thing I was going to ask you. Before I answer that, how do you think me and my producer, Eric, we're just two dumb, like, guys, just like, I mean, we're talking about football. We're like, damn it, the Steelers just traded away Deontay Johnson.
That was like speaking Spanish to me. I was like, who's
¿Quieres hablar en español? ¿Hablas español?
Un poquito. Yeah.
It was my first language. I didn't learn English till 4th grade, so that's, And I was born here, which is kind of embarrassing.
No, you know, I'm on my Duolingo right now. I'm on level 7, so watch out.
What is that?
Level 7 on Duolingo. You don't know Duolingo?
No, I know like Babbel. I've heard of Babbel.
You've heard of Babbel? It's just a language learning thing. You get a little owl that like presses you every day to like, you know, learn Spanish. And like, tenemos bailar.
Oh.
And yo tengo... You know, listen, I don't know what I'm learning. I'm not learning anything.
I can help you out.
In one ear, not the other.
You teach me to do cakes, I'll teach you Spanish.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. I think half the Hispanic listeners just clocked out on this podcast. It's like, that was horrible.
They're like,
Justin.
This guy's last name is Salinas. He doesn't know.
I know. It's the curse of being half Hispanic and not knowing Spanish.
So you mentioned something that I think is really interesting. You said 6 years ago, Justin was working at Olive Garden. Side note, I hate people who bash Olive Garden. I absolutely like. What's the point? It's delicious. Don't tell me it's not real authentic Italian. I don't give a. Is it delicious? Taco Bell's delicious. 100%. Is that authentic? Yeah. No. Is it good? Absolutely. Shut your mouth. That's gonna be my shut the fuck up of the week this week, Eric.
Yeah, get off your fucking high horse. It's Olive Garden. It's not bad. It's like, you know, we get it if you're talking about Cane's. Cane's is gross.
Raising Cane's?
Yeah.
Justin.
Sorry.
You can.
I had to say it. It had to be said.
You can cuss all you want, but you can't say that.
Well, if that's where we draw the line, unfortunately, I've crossed it because Cane's is really not great to me. But going back to Olive Garden, yeah, people are always bashing it. And honestly, it's so delicious. Where else can you get that much food? It's a lot of food.
So much.
Which was the big struggle as a waiter because like people are knocking back those soups, baby.
Yeah.
The zuppa Toscana is going down the throat.
I was just going to ask you, because this is going off, we're going off the rails, but this is totally worth it for me. I love Olive Garden. You cannot tell me Olive Garden isn't delicious. What was your go-to order while you were working there?
Okay, so the best thing is when you know the chef, you can get a lot of things customized. And I like spicy foods. And believe it or not, Olive Garden had something called a spicy Calabrian sauce. And they would put it all over these chicken tenders. So it was chicken tenders covered in a spicy chili sauce. And that's high-end Italian dining to me. And when I went there and I tried them, I said, oh, this is delicious. They said, wait a second, we can put that chili paste on the Alfredo. And baby, that's where the flavor's at. Okay.
Really?
And it was an off-the-menu item, so it's, you know, it's for
So
the
if you
elite.
go there today, do you still know some of the chefs who could hook it up with that?
No, I'm too far removed from that world. I'm a little bit, you know, at this point now, I'm on my high horse, and I walk in there, and I'm like, I never worked here. I deny it every second I can.
Don't look at me.
Yeah,
Don't look
right.
at me
No,
the way
actually,
I want another person.
I look at them, and I just know that how sweaty they are and how many hours they've worked, and you got to make sure you tip your waiters, everybody. They're working hard there.
I want Mr. Garden to serve me.
Yeah,
when you go
Mr.
there.
Garden,
Yeah.
Mr. Olive Garden.
But I want to take it back even further then. So take me back to how you got into this whole cake. I did some homework on you. You grew up, your mom got you into baking. Was it specifically baking or was it just cooking in general? And then you kind of veered off on your own into the baking thing?
I'm a terrible cook. I don't know about you, but I can't cook a thing. Like I'm really bad. But I know how to
HelloFresh.
bake. Yeah, HelloFresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sponsor. Are we looking out? Hey, you heard us.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, in the future.
Potential sponsor, is what we'll call it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a good cook, but I'm an excellent baker. My mom instilled in me early on that it was just a fun thing to do. I was a kid that was excited for anything crafty. Painting, crayons. I was putting my hands on all of it, my grubby little hands on all of it. And once my mom was cake decorating, she'd be making all of our birthday cakes. So not only were we not limited to what we got to have made for our birthdays, we were also getting to be in the kitchen and learn with her. And I just thought she was the coolest lady ever because she was able to just teach us so much. And for me, at that age, I was yearning for something creative and something that I was going to be good at. And that stuck like glue. You know, once I picked up the spatula and the icing, I was hooked. As a kid, I was playing with Play-Doh. Do you ever remember like Play-Doh sculptures you'd make?
I do. So I have an older sister. She ran the house. Like whatever toys she wanted, she got, and then she just made me do whatever. Like it was always just what she loved. Play-Doh. She had a whole phase of like Play-Doh. She had a whole phase of like everything. So
Making
Play-Doh was a big
pies
thing.
in a Play-Doh
exactly.
bowl.
Doing the whole thing.
Putting the crust on there.
Yep.
I even went as far as making like a lattice crust. Like I was Great British Bake Off.
A what?
Listen, this is where we're getting down to the nitty gritty. It's a lattice crust. So I was making a fancy crust on a Play-Doh pie. And I was presenting it to judges. Before I knew it, I was already prepping myself for
Who were the
reality.
judges? Like your mom and dad?
The judges were my mom and my dad. Yeah. And they were very lenient, I'll be honest. I think looking back on it now, they were a little soft on me because at this point now I've been on 3 shows and they've never been. So it was tough walking into those spaces where I was just so heavily taken care of as a kid and just treated so well.
How did they, it's like, why are you guys being so rude? My parents told me I was great when you were talking about these shows. Yeah, that's not what my mom said.
I'm like, well, my mom thinks I'm amazing. To Pioneer Woman. Yeah, Pioneer Woman's like, I don't give a shit.
So let's talk about it. So you went from obviously a kid who had a creative yearning for, you were in anything, and you found kind of your niche, or is it niche or niche? Whatever.
Yeah.
In baking, you found your creative, a place where you could express your creative juices and all that thing. Mm-hmm. When did you first discover, or I feel like were you one of the first people that started making these like realistic, like just objects that like people would cut into with cake?
That's a good question. If people are familiar with the show, Is It Cake? That was.
We're going to get into that because I got a bone to pick.
That was. Me fucking too. That was a massive catalyst for the cake community because for so long it was just, very simple things. And in the cake world, believe it or not, hyper-realistic cakes is the farthest you can go in your skill level, because to be able to trick the human eye, which is very discerning, into being able to see if something is hyper-realistic or not, is top-tier talent. So seeing that show actually motivated me to start hyper-realistic cakes myself. I started watching season 1 and I was filled with so much jealousy and so much rage that I wasn't wasn't asked to be on that show that I was like, I have to give it a shot. And from that point, I created a cake that looked like a pair of jeans. And it was just on the table with other clothing objects like a shoe and a shirt. And that was my first foray into this world. It was really cool to see how that process went for me, because it was a lot of work. You know, you have to think about every detail from texture to color to shape. It utilized every bit of my 15 years of experience, and I was hooked. I loved it.
Is there like a secret? Because I don't feel like you can just grab anyone, even people who are familiar with baking and bake, like, oh, I bake on the weekends, or that's my favorite like little hobby or whatever.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't even know where you would start.
With baking?
With realistic
With hyper-realistic
stuff.
cakes. It takes years and years of just basic cake decorating knowledge. And then you start to fortify yourself in each area specifically, like sculpting. When you're working with things like Play-Doh as a kid, that was my in to being able to learn how to sculpt.
You tap into those things.
You tap into
when
those
I was 5,
things.
I was really good at this.
That's right. And that sort of started to build. And then you learn how to airbrush, and you learn how to paint, and you're mixing colors. And before you know it, you start to find yourself a sort of semi-expert in a couple different things. And all of that amalgamates into the hardest thing you can do, which is create a hyper-realistic cake.
Would you say that you are a cake expert?
Yeah, I think at this point now I'll give myself that title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. I think me and our producer, Eric, I think I consider myself a cake expert. I can spot.
What cakes are we talking
fake
about
cake.
here?
Look, any kind of cake.
I know
mean
your
any
type.
kind. Look, listen. I can look, if you want to go down that road, I can identify. I was watching your Netflix show.
Yeah.
And I can identify the fake ones. I was really good at that.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest. There was a few times where it tricked me, and the fury, the rage, I was like, how the hell did someone just beat me? And also, yeah, I know what you're talking about. BBLs, you ain't fooling anyone, sweetheart.
You
like,
ain't fooling anyone. No, you know what the best part is that it's so funny when I can't even bring it up. It's jarring when you see it, because also like from the front there's so much shape, and then the back there's more, and it's just it's a lot to take in. You know, it's a lot to take in. More power to people. I think anyone should get anything they want.
We
done.
should do a show called same title. Is it cake, or what was it?
Is it cake?
Is it cake? And then just bring in
And
like
it's just BBLs.
You know, half BBLs and half real, and then like ain't no way I'm missing not one of them. You
can
Eric,
tell
we're
which one has been
experts.
surged.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
What are some telltale signs that they've been surged?
Skinny legs. You know what I'm saying?
It's the ankle
You ever
to
s-
thigh ratio.
You know, like the ankle to thigh, and then you go to like right here, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden, you
two
know,
sticks on a peach.
yeah, this is not a good look. And I wonder if they really like feel themselves after that. They're like, man, I look so good.
You know,
It's
all of the
tragic.
Sephora managers out here are pissed at us for talking about the BBLs. But listen, if you're out there and you're getting your BBL and I love seeing. This is a weird sort of move into this subject here. But when you see somebody with a massive surge like that, but they're working at something like Taco Bell, it is the funnest. It is the funnest little thing to see the dichotomy of that happening. It's also like when you see, and this is a very specific thing I noticed, when people have those fake lashes on, but they don't have any makeup, and it's just fake giant lashes and your natural skin. That is wild to me, and I can't stop watching.
It
I
also
love
says
it.
a lot about like the priorities. Like you're working at Taco Bell, and it's just like,
Yeah.
boom, and then you got
can
your,
have it
a
all.
Gucci bag. You know, like Gucci
Yeah.
bag, BBL, locked and loaded. What else do you need? Certainly not an apartment or a reliable car.
And they don't.
Or tires.
And they don't. That thing is screeching out the parking lot
yeah,
every day.
That Nissan Altima is
Caked up.
hanging on by a thread.
You know what though? Listen though, anybody can have an online persona, so you never know if somebody's like a massive content creator, but they just have a regular day job. It's great.
That is so true.
It's a weird world we live in where everyone's a content creator in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that sort of, when people call me one, I'm like, it's not very special that I'm a content creator. I just post stuff online. We all do it. Yeah.
That
I love
is true. That's a good point to bring up. I wanted to bring up, and I wish we had more time because that is an interesting thing, but I wanted to bring, this is a segment I like to call What Say You? Okay. So for this segment to work, you need to understand a little bit about me. Okay. So I'm going to explain a little bit about me. And then at the end, no, listen. I am a person, and I've had a radio show. I've had, this podcast now for going on 6-7 months. And I've been very open about my issues in my personal life, since, growing up, and for one reason or another, you have trust issues, you don't allow yourself to go into certain things. Very open about it, talked about it on the radio. Like, it's not a secret with people who are familiar with what I do and what I've what I put out to the world. So, with therapists, and they talk about like you have issues with certain things, trust being a big one. And I'm proud to say that I have, over the last, I'd say, year or so, gotten a lot better about it. So, hand up, let's clap for me. But, Justin, this is where you come into play. You and your people have kind of put me back to square one. Because of the fact that I would watch your videos online and I would watch a delicious steak, ribs, and a baked potato, and I was like, yeah. And your Instagram algorithm knows kind of what you're into. And I was like, I'd see steak and I'd see cakes and, and I'd be like, oh, that looks good. Let me see that. And then you just out of nowhere, someone comes in with a knife and it's just like, bah! And I was like, I don't trust anything. I was like, and there was a point in my life and I was like, and I talked about this too, and it was like, I don't trust that anything's not cake. I was like, is this camera cake? Are you cake? Are you just like a cake with a vocal thing right now? Is this mic a cake? I don't trust anything. So all the progress that I had made with my trust issues were just, I reverted back to square one. And I think you were largely responsible for that. What say you?
I take 100% credit and for that. And to be honest with you, it has paid for a lot of things. So thank you. I'm writing the tales of your trauma, and I'm taking it right to the bank, baby.
Yeah, my therapist is really happy about you. They're like, yeah, he's back.
We're all profiting off of everyone's inability to spot cake at this point. It is so wild, the world we live in now. You're right. Everything could be cake. I'm not 100% sure I'm a real person at this point.
Sometimes I grab myself. Sometimes I grab my ass, and I'm like,
touch his face.
Yeah, is this cake?
Is that cake? That's cake.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's cake right there.
that is real.
That's a small
We
one.
live in a very scary world where anything around you could be cake. And we know this because we've seen everything online turned into cake. This is the problem I have now as a content creator. I'm like, what else am I going to make out of cake? You have made a stapler. There has a coffee machine. Somebody made literally like a table out of cake.
A baby.
A baby. Can we draw the line somewhere? I'm personally done with it. I feel you on this, but it is now in the world of cakes. It is now part of what we are. So you have to be afraid wherever you are.
See, yeah, and you realistically, you have to keep pushing the limits. So what is next for this realistic cake, or what is like the next thing?
Well, I think Is It Cake has a few more seasons in it. I think it's such a massive hit, and it's a really big hit for kids. Every time I'm out in public, a kid is going to walk up to me and be like, are you from Is It Cake? And that is the wildest experience because, you think anybody was going to watch the show, but it's kids who love it. And I think that more than that, anybody who watches it, it's like a game. Everybody gets to, not only is it like an original cake show, it's like a concept where people at home get to play a game.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so in terms of like, I think hyper-realistic cakes are going to stay, of course. But I think in the trajectory of like a cake person like me on TV, it's just going to be creating wilder and wilder things. And the line isn't drawn at hyper-realistic cakes. It is very tough to do that. But imagine a show now where there's like cakes made out of like people, and like people are cakes, and we cut through them.
I don't want to live in that world.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be honest. I was asked to. This is kind of a secret, but I was asked to be on a show recently, and I could say what it was. America's Got Talent asked me to be on the show, but I'll tell you why I didn't want to do it. Because it's a very unique space for a content creator like me. I don't think they've had a cake creator before. And to be honest with you, yes, I find hyper-realistic cakes to be very popular right now, but I don't personally myself connect with it as much as I used to. So I personally find that myself, I'm moving out of that hyper-realistic world. Now,
thank you.
Now I find, just for you actually, because of how much you're crying over there.
My traumas.
No, what I want to create now is I want to create characters and things that people know right away.
I saw you Shrek.
Yes, Shrek. I recently made a Grinch cake that went viral. And it's incredible because just like hyper-realistic cakes, in 2 seconds, someone can decide if that's a good or a bad cake, if that looks like Shrek or not like Shrek, if that looks like the Grinch or not like the Grinch. And TikTok and Instagram will let you have it. The comment section is fierce.
Good or bad, they'll let you know. What is more gratifying? You making a cake that goes viral or selling out your shows, like 4 shows in a row in like 10 seconds?
That's so tough because the the high you get from both is unmatched.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of hard because I've never had any negatives don't happen in the cookie space world. It's just positive. You get a bunch of people that come in. But with a viral video, it equally is good comments and bad comments. And the bad comments could be like literally kill yourself.
Jesus.
And you're like, babe, it's just a cake. But whatever floats their boat. If they're going through trauma like you, I mean, anything, I'm willing to understand their hate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm telling you from a real point of view. Yeah, you know, there's
Are
people
you one of them? Are you telling me that you're the hater that's commenting kill yourself?
I got the burner account that I'm like, go kill yourself. You just tricked me.
Are you user 52786573221?
I thought I was gonna look at some delicious ribs, and here we go with a cake. So before we move on, I wanted to see how good you were at. You thought you were gonna get away. I may or may have not baked something, so I'm gonna play Is It Cake with you.
Oh my God.
You ready?
Kidding. Are you lying?
I'm dead serious.
Wait, what? What?
I brought something,
You what?
and I want you to guess, is it cake?
Are you gonna pull out something that you baked from an oven? Oh.
Maybe. That's up to you to decide.
From the
Is
Easy
it
Bake
cake?
oven or the regular oven? Oh my, he's pulling from something. You guys, there's underneath the table. I don't even know what's happening here. I'm just, it could be, oh my gosh.
You have to decide.
Oh,
this
shoot.
could be a very good. This may or may not be the one that I took before, but you tell me.
This is really good because on Is It Cake, we're at least like 20 feet from the actual cake. This is right here in front of me.
Oh. See, that's a
Listeners,
bit of an advantage.
We're looking at Define A. Is this the product name?
Is it cake? Wait, what's that nerd that says it? What's his name?
Oh, everybody hates him.
What's
I
that?
felt so bad for him because he would just read hate comments while we were there.
Oh, okay, well, sorry.
No, it's okay. He's going through it too. His name is Mikey Day.
Good
Mikey
guy?
Day. He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I gave you a massive advantage having it so close.
Wow.
So can I trick? I may or may not have made this.
Can I
So-
ask you some questions
Yeah,
about it?
absolutely.
Okay, so if you made it, it would take quite a few materials. Would you walk us through the process of how you made this?
Wait. Look at he thinks he got me. That's the laugh of like got him. Okay. So first you start with egg, and then you start with flour.
you get the
and then
flour
you
in there.
continue. Yeah, you get the egg, flour, and then if I told you the rest, then I'd give away my secrets. You know,
you'd have
but
to
that's up to you to decide.
Uh-oh.
Who's a real cake expert?
I'm gonna guess now.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm gonna. I think it's cake.
Is it cake?
Should we get? Okay.
Let's
so,
find out. You
okay,
have a
the
spoon
tension
right
is
in front of
building. Oh
you.
my gosh, I'm so scared. Okay. Okay. Camera, zoom in on me while I get very terrified and I look very closely. Uh-oh. It's
good.
Now, should I get my
Sorry.
spoon and cut through
yeah.
it? Okay.
We're gonna find out. Is
All
it
right.
cake?
Count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha. It is not
it's
cake.
not cake.
It's not cake. And you know why it's not cake, Justin? Because
Yeah.
I'm not rude and I don't play with people's trust
You don't play
issues.
with people's
And
trust
it was
issues.
very real from the beginning, just like this whole interview. Very real, authentic. I'm not fooling anyone. I'm not hurting anyone's feelings or reopening any deep traumas
Folks,
from childhood.
You know where to go if you want a little bit of trauma. Cake it with Justin on Instagram.
That was fun. I got you. See, that's one for the good guys.
I think you could do it though. You got to come to our classes. Are you going to come? Are you really going to come?
I'm dead serious. You
We're
tell
gonna
me
do it.
when.
Okay, you both have to come.
You
Yeah.
tell me when, and it'll be interesting to see how we do. I really would be curious. I hit a baking phase. When was it? My buddy Joel will tell you. We would just be sitting at home, and I was god awful. But it was for some reason or another. I was just like I was just having these cravings for these things, and in the box it looks great, and I was like, I want that. And then it's just flour and batter, just like I'm like, well, this isn't gonna do anything.
By
and
the
it was
time
hard.
we finish our class, you're going to be a cake boss. Or if anything, like the people on Nailed It. And that's just as good because you can still get on a show and win money.
Hey, say less.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, Lord knows we need a whole lot of that. Got a couple quick fire questions for you
Tell me.
before we get you out of here. What is your favorite kind of cake?
Okay, so my cake is like a simple one. I like vanilla cake with whipped icing and like strawberries. Simple.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard of tres leches?
I love tres leches.
Yeah.
That sounds actually good right now.
Tres
that
leches.
sounds
Oh
good.
boy,
Yeah,
that's
I
my,
could tear that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vallarta. Let's
Do you
go
know
out.
how to make it?
You know what? I've tried it before. Yeah, and actually I made a strawberry one. That was so good.
A strawberry.
Yeah.
I wish you would have brought a cake.
I should have. I
Yeah.
should have.
Next time we'll get you on back on the podcast.
Next time you're also going to make a hyper realistic cake. We're going to do a couple things.
That wasn't hyper realistic. I was very close.
No.
Who would you say in Bakersfield or in the cake world because I'm assuming if you do this and you're good at what you do, who do you compete with? Who's your competitor? Who's like this person who does this the same with you? You're like, you know what? Kind of fuck this person.
Yeah.
This is the distinction, is I think you can make any path for yourself as an individual. And even if there's somebody that's very similar to you, they're not identical. And that's the unique thing that propels me forward. So I don't know if I have any people. If somebody says they're comparing themselves to me, that's fine. But I'm on my own path.
You're the standard, baby.
Do you have haters?
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I got haters.
Well, just didn't you hear the comment section?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little different. Those are like
Pioneer woman. Pioneer
warriors.
woman. She's got beef with me.
Person who like the coolest person who's asked you to make a cake. I'm sure you've had a lot of personal orders. They're like celebrities, anybody who's been like, make me a cake for a birthday, a wedding, whatever.
I worked at a bakery when I was in college in DC, and I made a cake for the Jennifer Lopez.
Really?
Babe, it's
What did that look like? I could identify those cakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jenny from the block.
Those are real. Those are real.
those
Allegedly.
got to be real. If those are not real, my heart would just, I'd cry right now.
Childhood over.
It'd be worse than my trust issues.
But you know the funny thing is, you make a cake for like a celebrity, you know they don't eat it. You know they're just like stand by it, and then they're like, okay, I'm going anyway.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
I hope you charge it pretty good.
Oh, we got the money.
Your favorite piece that you've worked on?
Favorite thing I've worked on. I'll say this: the cake from Is It Cake. I'm very proud, regardless of how the results came out. I'm so proud. I made one of the biggest cakes that the franchise has ever had so far. Hyper realistic. In the same amount of time, somebody made a literal like a glove, like a baseball glove. Baseball glove versus what I made, which was a gym bag, a giant, huge gym bag with a water bottle poking out of it.
I wanted to get into this. I don't know if we were gonna have time, but we'll keep it short and sweet here.
You gotta have me back.
No, yeah, we're definitely gonna have you back. Yeah. I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, he got it right off the bat. A lot of people.
You
were
didn't even
like,
need to say
they're
it
like,
back.
No, I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
I just say I love you to like the clerk checking me out.
When's your birthday?
July 13th.
Well, my mom's is the 6th.
Yeah.
And my sister's is the... man, I got like 3 cancers like in my family.
I'm sorry
Yeah. Apologies.
for us.
Apology
Appreciate
accepted.
for us. Wow. He is a cancer.
I'm sorry and I love you.
Cancer in the room.
Yeah.
No. Spot it. No, but you know what? I know you're on a time crunch. We're gonna wrap you up, and I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. The way I envisioned this was even better than it turned out better than I envisioned it.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, I have high standards.
Oh, thank you.
This ain't your average run-in-the-mill little podcast thingy.
You get the opportunity once a couple times in my life to be interviewed. This is the best one yet. It's such a great experience. I'm so glad to know you.
And imagine if we weren't on a time crunch.
Yeah,
if I had you for the whole hour.
Oh, we would be crying. We'd be like, and then when I was a kid, it would be like that.
That's okay. Yeah, this is over. Yeah. He's hurting my feelings now. He doesn't even care anymore. You can find Caked Up Justin. It's not Caked Up
That's
Justin.
right.
It's
That's my alt account. But you can find my regular account, Cake It with Justin.
where everywhere.
Anywhere.
Is it all through like YouTube? That's the same
I'm
one?
even on Tinder at this point. You can find
Really?
me everywhere.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Are you Cake It with Justin on Tinder? Mm-hmm. That's freaking awesome.
You gotta let them know.
Yeah, you gotta let. Hey,
Do they think you're fake?
you know who I
Do
am?
they think you're fake? Nobody even knows who Cake It with Justin is on Tinder. But
Right.
no, honestly, it's I think I don't even know what I do. I'm not even on Tinder, you guys. That was a lie. I'm just alone eating Taco Bell at night.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds
you
like a
look
good
great
life.
for that being your diet.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop it.
Absolutely.
He's a sweetheart.
You know, when you go through so much trauma, you know.
What's your love language?
Yeah.
Do you have a love
I just
language,
learned
real
about
quick?
that actually. I don't even.
Wow.
It's not gift giving. I don't like that. I don't even like getting gifts. It's quality time.
Really?
Quality time. Yeah.
So,
and with that being said, I gotta get out of here.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's
can dive.
fake.
Yeah, we'll have you back on for
Quality
another
time.
love
What-
language.
What's yours?
Mine is gonna sound bad. See, you asked me at the worst time because now I can't gift
Yeah.
receiving.
Gift receipt.
And listen to the podcast.
Oh,
we did a whole
God.
we
We
did
did
a
a
whole
whole-
episode on it.
Oh my god.
Justin, listen to it. Promise me that you will listen to it
Okay,
and
I
then
will.
give me your feedback on it because I think it's deeper than just like give me gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Cake It with Justin, YouTube, everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm assuming
Yep.
just everywhere. I've did some research on this. He's everywhere. Just hey, you know what the biggest flex is?
What's that?
Say, Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
me.
Google
me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute blast. Let's set up a time. Let's set up a date for one of your classes.
Okay, I'm down.
Let's
I can't
do
wait
it.
to see that.
Figure it
Thank you
out.
again, you guys. I had the best time.
Cake it with Justin. We stumped him on our little game. Is it cake? That was 100% real.
Yeah. That was cool.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that interview. We are back ready to wrap up this podcast. What was that? Is that funny?
That was fun. Well, we've never done that like that.
I mean, hey,
it's
learning
cool. It's
lesson.
fun. I think not a learning lesson. It's really good. I think it's really good.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Ignore what just happened between me and producer Eric right now. We have 2 more segments to get into before we send you off on your way. Again, really fun show. That interview with Justin, I'm really excited about. Again, we're going to be going out to one of his classes. We're going to get dates, times, and it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see. I think I can do a better cake than Eric, but and I think I'm more caked up than Eric. But that's besides the point.
Bro, I would love to have that competition. I get compliments on these cakes all the time.
What, the nothing bunt?
Oh, bro, this is feeling like you just insulted me right now.
Let's do it.
100%.
We should do a picture.
Oh, bro.
Like vote who's got better cakes.
Bro.
You know what it would be? If we do it on your Instagram, you're going to win. If we do it on my Instagram, I would
No
win.
way. No way, bro.
It would not be an objective. Like,
this is funny actually right now. Hey, the worst part would be when they're like, hey, when they come out, there's just like a random picture pops up of us in like Speedos in 3 different angles.
I would do
back,
the wide receiver.
side to
I would do the
side.
wide receiver the way the girls do it. Like that, but this would be jumping.
Oh man, this is ridiculous.
People would accuse me. They'd be like, Vic got a BBL. And I'd be like, no, this is all natty, baby. No, we need to have me, you, and Ken.
I love Ken, bro. The Miami. It's just
we have a buddy whose pants were falling off the whole entire time. It was absolutely hilarious. And then Eric out of nowhere just randomly, we're in Miami for our fantasy football. And then Eric out of nowhere says, Ken, you're staying in Miami and we're all pitching in for a BBL. Dog,
Bro.
that was the funniest thing ever.
God, freaking Ken. I love that. Hey, shout out to Ken. He let me crash at his house on my birthday when I was like completely blacked out, faded for the second time in my life ever.
We'll have to have him on the podcast and explain his side of it because it was not pretty.
Maybe we don't have him on.
All right, you ready?
Let's just talk about the golf balls. I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, the golf balls. Y'all want to see what I can do to the golf balls?
Yeah, let's keep this thing going.
Where's this?
No, you don't have.
You're lucky I don't have the golf ball today.
I'm glad you don't. I don't. Actually, I think I'm gonna put a sign on the front of this door like no golf balls allowed.
I'll sneak it in, and you know I can do that. Anyways, let's go to our Shut the Fuck Up of the Week. As we mentioned on the interview that you just heard with Justin, I think people who bash, not even specifically Olive Garden. You talk about Olive Garden, you talk about Taco Bell, you talk about McDonald's, you talk about this, that, and the other. Anybody who bashes like delicious food for it not being authentic, folks, I don't give a damn if Taco Bell isn't real Mexican food. You're asking the wrong question. Why would I care if something is authentic when it is delicious? Why would I care if Olive Garden isn't Grandpappy Da Vincio's family recipe? I've tried that stuff. Not as good as Olive Garden. Why would I care if it's if Taco Bell isn't Don Pancho's old recipe tacos with the asada? Like, it doesn't matter. If it's delicious, it's delicious. And if you're one of these people who are like, that's not all that, shut the fuck up.
Jeez.
Shut the fuck up. People who bash food for not being authentic, they know damn well it's delicious, but your only argument is not authentic. It's like, okay, would you rather have something authentic that doesn't taste as good? No. Shut the fuck up. Eric, go ahead.
I think this is perfect to talk about now. People that say pizza is better with pineapples on top. Shut the fuck up, please.
Bro, stop.
No, I think that was a perfect one. It's quick, simple, easy, and it's true.
Dog.
Don't mute me, please.
Dog, you really think pineapple doesn't belong on pizza?
No,
Unless you're in Hawaii.
Unless you're in Hawaii, 100%.
You're a dickhead for that. I hate you so much for that.
You-
I will say that unless you are in the motherland of pineapples, thou shalt not put pineapple on pizza in the States.
It tastes so good in Hawaii.
You know what? How about this? People who say that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Sorry. You ready for our trivia question?
You weren't allowed to add that.
I know. That was wrong of me. I apologize because that is your shut the fuck up. That I have no right to step on that. I have no right. You're right. People who it's annoying. All right, let's get into our trivia question. Are you ready for it, Eric?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the old video and photos right now from the Cecil Hotel when I was there years ago.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, bro,
I don't need to see that.
I wish you could see what that entrance. It was cool, bro. They had a pong table, everything right there. We seen all those bums at. It was cool.
Bums.
I didn't mean it that way.
You see all these little bums who made nothing of their lives. I'm so much better than them. Look, you know, all these bums. Men, women, and children, all you bums in here. Let's get into our trivia question. Brought to you by Rev Nutrition, the podcast brought to you by Rev Nutrition, and one of our favorite products, Define. Actually, we're talking about Justin. We might get him a Scoopy Define. I forgot to give it to him before. Podcast brought to you by Define 8 and just everything that it brings, fat burner, mental clarity. It makes the podcast just better. I truly, like, whether they were sponsor or not, we're taking it, you know? And you can get it at Rev Nutrition right here in Bakersfield. Anywhere in the city, east, west, south, north, whatever it is, wherever you are, there's one close to you. Go check them out. Rev Nutrition, get you some Define, get you some pre-workout, get you whatever you need. And mention the podcast for 20% off. Also, brought to you by the Mattress Space Furniture Outlet on Buck Owens Boulevard. Once again, our buddy C's take care of you. Prioritize your sleep. Get you the best deal. Rebranding. They're freshening up the store. So get in there and tell them you love them and tell them we sent you. All right. You ready, Eric?
I'm ready.
I don't know about this. This one's it's going to be one of those that, like, when I tell you the answer, you're going to be like, damn it. Yeah, I should have known. But I don't think you're going to get it.
Wow.
Okay? You ready?
Mm-hmm. I'm ready.
All right. The average man does this. I'm sorry. Pause. The average woman does this 150 times a year. The average man does it 10 times a year. What is it?
The average woman does it how many times?
150 times a year. The average
I don't want to say what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Man does it 10 times a year. And I'll give you a hint right now because, you know, it's something that you could do on your phone. Very similar to the way you were just on it right now. Mm-hmm. You can almost say, check something. The average woman does this 150 times a year. The average man does it 10 times a year. And you're going to be like, damn it.
The weather?
Nope. Damn, you. I check the weather a lot, man. It's because I golf and I'm like,
I don't. I check the
rain.
I check the weather. Well, you know why? That's why I was up this morning so early and didn't get.
Yeah.
That was one of.
I'm talking about.
That was one of 10.
I only have 10 bullets in this chamber, and I had to use it this morning.
Dang it. Okay.
That's
give
one.
me one more. You said I get one more answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
The average woman does this 150 times a year. The average man 10 times. What is it? And I'll tell you, we're not close with the first one, but it is. I mean, you're close as far as like it's checking something.
Ooh,
you can do it on your phone.
Okay. No, that don't make sense. This is kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie with you. It has me thinking. They check their.
I'm getting nervous.
I
don't want you to get it.
150 times to 10, bro. That's such a big gap.
It is a huge gap, but it will make 100% sense. I guarantee it. And think stereotypical. Think like
I'm trying. I'm
girls
like
versus like guys don't care about it versus.
I'm trust me, bro. Like I am really digging deep in a blank space. They check this.
It's like I'm alone.
They check their 10. What do I do 10 times? What? I really don't want to give a guess yet because I want to at least get close.
We're on the time crunch, pal.
I know.
You gotta. People are gonna have to fast forward.
All right, let's go ahead and go with they check their steps.
Steps? No, I mean decent answer, believable answer, but incorrect. And you're gonna be mad. Remember, women put a lot of weight on this. Guys don't care about it. The average woman does this 150 times a year. The average man does it 10 times, and that is check their horoscope.
That
check
100%.
Check their horoscope. They're like, oh, let's see if this man ain't shit. Let's see. Turns out my horoscope said you ain't shit either.
Yeah. Let me see if we're compatible.
Yeah, we're not compatible. And the average guy, I don't even know if I check mine 10, but yeah. I mean, we're talking about averages. I guess.
I don't think I actually check horoscopes anymore, but I'm fully aware within mine.
Yeah,
like my sign. So
that was a lot of fun. I'm excited about this episode. Be on the lookout for it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And big shout out just at Cake It with Justin. Be on the lookout. We're going to be coming out to one of his shows and kind of watch him do his thing and do our best to see who can make the better cake. Big shout out to our producer at Life of Vivera. Had a wild last couple of days. More adventures on the way. I am at Victy Radio. The podcast is at ILY Say It Back Pod. Brought to you by the Creative Crew. Until next time, que sueñen con los angelitos. I love you. Say it back.
Love you.